Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you for joining me for a card making tutorial today. I'm using these three colours. This is part of a fun Facebook group challenge that goes on every month. So you can go on to Facebook and follow them along if you search for SU Colour Challenge with an O-R, not an O-U-R. The American spelling, so you'll find that on there, and they pulled up a selection of colours and just challenge people to use those colours in their projects for the month. Okay, so November's colours are these, so we're almost at the end of the month, but it's a nice thing just to sort of get some ideas flowing again to use a colour challenge. So that's why I'm using it today, and it uses one of my favourite colours, which is Blackberry Bliss. I really love Fresh Freesia as well, which is one of the newer colours that came into the summer, with one of our classic neutrals, Smoky Slate. Okay, so those are what we are working with, and I thought what we'd do is do a bit of an alternative festive card, doing some non-traditional colours. So I'm going to go with a Smoky Slate card base, cut and scored in the traditional fashion. So if you haven't come across this before, I am in the UK, so I'm using A4 cardstock, which I have sliced lengthways at 4 1/8 of an inch and then scored at 5 7/8. Okay, so that's how I make my card bases. And then layer wise, I've decided to build my design onto a piece of basic white, which is 3.5 by 5 1/4, and then I've got a piece of Blackberry Bliss, which is just 1/8 of an inch taller and wider, just to make that into a mat. Okay, so with the colours then, I have decided I'm going to use one of the masks that's in the mini catalogue at the moment. Okay, with this beautiful snowflake design. I've used it before a couple of times and I really like it, so I thought I'd get that out again just to do something different with this. So just putting my cardstock underneath there, I've just got a piece of the small grid paper here, and I've secured the mask at the top with a bit of washi tape. In my case, you could use low tack decorator's tape, anything like that, just to help you hold the mask in place, which allows you to lift it and sort of reposition it. And what I've also done, I don't know whether you noticed when I was putting down the because the background's a little bit messy from where I did a bit of experimentation, I've actually marked which square I'm going to use as my sort of reference point, so if I do need to reposition it, I can. Okay, so that's what I've done here. I'm going to start with the Fresh Freesia, and I'm going to use one of my favourite Stampin Up tools at the moment, which is one of these blending brushes. So these are just fab, I just love them. And I'm just going to use some scrap just to take off a load at the brush, but then take off some basically. And what you are going to need is a scrap of paper of some kind, because otherwise your fingers are going to get in a mess. So I'm just going to take this scrap of basic white out here, and I'm going to, like I say, just apply my Fresh Freesia over the top here. Okay, not particularly going for super even. It comes out how it comes out. Obviously if you want to be more precise about it, then do so, but I just want to get down some colour, and if some bits are paler than others, then that's fine too. Okay, so there we go. That just might look a bit odd if that little bit is missing. So when you do your first layer, this is what you're going to end up with, and you could totally stop there, use that, super duper. We're going to add another layer, so I'm going to flip it 180 degrees. So north is south, south is north. Reposition it and put back the stencil. And I'm going to switch to Blackberry Bliss. and grab my other tool, my other brush. I do kind of have a tool, not for every colour obviously, that would be a little expensive having 50 odd blending brushes, but I've got a brush to sort of for each sort of colour group, if you like. So I've got sort of a light and dark blue and sort of a pink one, a red one, that kind of thing, which is fine if the colours fit into a nice category like that. Some of the colours are a little bit more awkward. Coastal Cabana, for example, that seems to sort of have this sort of ability to morph between green and blue, depending on what you put it with. Okay, just drizzle that round and apply some more ink. So you might want to do this layer a little darker, and because as you can probably imagine now, what I'm doing is I'm going to create like this layered look. So having these darker is really going to make them pop from the other ones. So I might just put a little bit extra on these ones actually, because you want that definition. There's no point having the two layers if you can't really see them, if you know what I mean. So because we've got things in position, we can always lift it up and have a look. Okay, so that's lovely. So I think we're going to stick with that, but you get the idea what I'm trying to achieve. Could work with a whole heap of colours. Basically you just want a light and a dark tone. You could even you don't necessarily need to have the same kind of colour. I mean, obviously these are both sort of pinky purpley, whatever, but try it out, see what kind of combos you get. Okay, so the idea was to get this sort of multi-layered sort of blizzard look on there, really nice and simple. So let's layer it onto our Blackberry Bliss card layer. Just use my Stampin' Seal for that, of course. Quick and easy. And I wanted this to be a nice, quick and easy card. So layering tip again, just hold it in your dominant hand. Make sure those three edges on this side are even, and the rest should take care of itself. I think I like it this way up. I'm not sure there is a way up, but there we go. I think I might bring in some ribbon actually as well. Let's bring in some of our what's this called? Crinkled seam binding ribbon. Let's add a little bit of that, shall we? Because as far as planning this went, I just went as far as this is what I want to achieve with this particular set. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for my snail. Snail. It's not called snail anymore. Seal. I use it that often, and you think I'd remember, wouldn't you? So let's secure that across the back and wrap that round a couple of times. You could colour this to tone in with your design if you wanted to. Quite like them crisscrossing over the back there. So you might want a bit more there just to secure that. Some sharp scissors to cut it. Just adds another level of texture. We might still add a bow yet, kind of thing. Okay, and I think that's going to go onto my card base now. I'm going to do this flat because I've already had a thought about what I want to do with regards to the sentiment. Okay, so again, if you flip it on its side like I did with the other layer, it's much easier to eyeball these three edges than it is to try and sort of centre it. Well, it is in my opinion anyway. Everyone's got their own tips and tricks when it comes to these things. So sentiment wise, we haven't used our smoky slate ink, so I'm going to bring in the smoky slate in the sentiment. And that scrap of paper that I was using there. That'll do nicely for this. Don't matter if there's a little bit of stuff on there. In fact, do you know what, if we turn it, oh no, that's fine. It'll do. It'll add to the effect. Right, the sentiment I've picked out is from Frosted Gingerbread, the Wishing You a Merry Christmas. Nice sort of generic sort of sentiment. Let's plonk that there. Beautiful. Crisp images with the photopolymer stamps that we have from Stampin' Up. They use the best quality ones. And then if we line this up inside the punch, it just fits. If you line up your S and your C on your Christmas and get them as close as you dare to the edge, sort of in the middle, the rest just about fits in there, which is cool. I love this tailored tag shape. It's quite nice for these more round sort of sentiments. So that looks like it's kind of good there. And then the other thing I wanted to bring in was these snowflakes. These are die cuts, which are called Wonderful Snowflakes. You get a pack of 36, I think. No, 24, sorry. So, and they're in like a carrier sheet, but they've got like a pearl sort of iridescent look to them. I don't know whether the camera will pick it up for you, but of course with the sort of pinky purpley tones that we've got going on with the background, I thought that would be nice. And the idea was to sort of attach these behind the sentiment and then lift the whole thing up to make this dimensional element, something like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is bring in a silicone craft sheet, which I've buried underneath other things. Let's grab that, because that's going to help us. Okay, and I'm going to pop a fair bit of seal on the seal on the back of that. And this is going to help me sort of be able to manipulate this, but it's not going to stick to the silicone sheet. So it's a nice handy way to do all this sort of sticky stuff without necessarily getting into a mess. Okay, so will that fit on the card? Yeah. Awesome. So now I'm going to use the back there, sorry, or turn it over, shall I say, and put, I'm going to go 4, I think. Have plenty of stick there. I probably could, they look exactly the same size as that dimension, don't they? Probably could put one on the back of there, but I think those 4 will do it. So it will lift the whole thing up. Okay, so again, if you wanted to put that to one side, it would just peel off that silicone sheet, which is really, really cool. Quite a lot, I like the silicone sheets. Okay, and then these sort of float off into the onto the sort of smoky slate beyond the border of the Blackberry Bliss, which again I think is really super cute. Okay. And that is cool. I think this could do with a bit of bling though. Let's bring in some of our small rhinestones and our take your pick tool. And we'll just put a scattering of those on. Just use the small ones, I think. You know, there's 3 sizes in the pack, so using our odd numbers. So that's 3, 4 and 5, just to sort of add some sparkle on there for the recipient. That's going to look amazing, and it'll just twinkle away on the shelf there. Cool, really like that. Hope you do too. I'd love to see if you take part in the challenge. Let me know if you do. or whether you try out this card with some other colours. That would be really cool to know as well. Alright, obviously all the product links and stuff are going to be in the description. If you want to pop along there, have a closer look at anything in the shop, that'd be ace. And of course, if you are in the UK, you can shop along with me as well. Alright, so hope you've enjoyed that. Stay safe, take care, I'll see you soon. Bye.